Yes, and welcome to Vasili's Garden, folks. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. A lot of you have been asking about how I cook my endives and chicory, saute them, and what I put into it so I can make it so delicious and wholesome. Well, here's a little example of it. These are green curled chicory, and I've harvested this straight from the garden before. I started cooking this up out here to see how it goes, and it's a bloody treat. So let's get stuck into it. Let's go and harvest first. So we're going to start with this one here, folks. This is a green curled chicory. Look at it, it's going to go to seed there. Nothing wrong with this. It doesn't get bitter, but when it grows this large, and it's still very delicious. So I'm going to pull this straight out of the ground, shake the soil off. I'm just going to cut it off at the base. I didn't bring my secateurs because I'm doing cooking now. At the base like that. Now, a nice simple way of getting rid of any excess bugs. Give it a good shake. 99.9% will fall off, and the other ones you're going to eat. We're also going to pull out a leek. Let's grab one here. Oh, it's got some strong roots. Tap the base off. And we also need some garlic. Now this garlic here, folks, as you know, is not ready because it hasn't formed its full head inside, meaning the cloves and all that too. So they shouldn't have any skin on them. So we should be able to use the entire head as it is, if it lets me pull it out. Oh, seriously, wow. Some serious roots on that, eh? Gotta love it. Oh, it smells good too. Come along. Just give them a quick rinse. This is our garden kitchen, folks. Now, with the leek, even if it's going to seed there, it hasn't popped up yet, so it hasn't completely formed. And if you feel the stem itself, it's still quite succulent, so you can use a lot of that stem. I'll cut it off about halfway. Oh, look at that. I feel terrible taking that off. You know what? I'm going to cut it 3/4 of the way. That's better. And these leaves, I just cut the tops off them like that. Bottom, off, give it a wipe. We'll clean that up a bit more afterwards. Put that aside. Now the garlic, the same thing, because it's still forming. Take the outer layers of skin off, like this. I know you've all cleaned garlic before, but see inside? It still hasn't quite starting to form there. We'll have a look inside, see if there's any skin on those cloves, but we're gonna take the stem as well because that's nice and succulent. We're not gonna dry that out. Let's cut the base off this. Give me another rinse. Have a look at that inside. It hasn't really formed yet, so if it's just starting to take the shape on it, but there's no skin inside, so we can use the entire plant like that. So we'll just cut all this up first. Let's start with the head. Cut it down the center. See inside, the cloves haven't really put a skin on them, so you can use it as it is completely. No harm at all. I just slice it up. You can crush it if you like, put it through a garlic crusher. Because we're going to cook these up a little bit, they don't have to get crushed. You don't have to be fussy about how you cut it up either. And I actually like to cook them through to the point where they're slightly burnt, you get that aroma coming through. Now with the stem itself, unlike your typical spring onion, I'm going to cut this down the middle because what I want it to do is actually pull apart and become little slivers. Not too thin. Like that. See how they just fall apart there afterwards? So as you cook that out, you've got nice little flat bits rather than round pieces. Done. Now for the leek. Same thing with the stem of the leek. Find the center and cut it down the middle. Oh, look at how succulent that is. Same thing with a large piece, folks, because as you cut it, it should just come apart. See all these layers? That'll all start coming apart there like that and peeling out. This is still a little bit succulent. Heat up your frying pan and add a little bit of olive oil. Don't be shy on it, that's just a little bit. We're gonna add some more afterwards. Chuck these straight in. Like that. Just spread them out, lather them up with a bit of the oil. Now I normally cook these on a high heat. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit so we can prepare the endives. Just having a close look at the endives. Normally the bottom leaves will be a little bit silty with a bit of soil splashing around on them. This is what I mean here. See that there? You can sit there and clean them all. Just get a bucket of water if you're cooking in a garden and just give them a quick rinse like that. The way I do it is just grab a few handfuls And shake, 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 shake. Rinse off the excess water and we're done. Now, if you're really worried about bugs and soils and things like that, fill up your sink with water, put a little bit of salt in there to knock out the bugs. They'll float to the top. But this endive, see the height of it? Rarely you'll find a bug up high. You know, from the first quarter, yes, but not from there up. Because there's enough food source there for the bugs to enjoy, for them to have to climb up to the top. Why climb when it's all at the bottom? Let's stir this up. Okay, these are nearly ready as well. Just got to soften them up a bit because we're going to still cook them through with these little beauties. Right. This is only one plant, folks. One green curl endive, one leek, and one freshly harvested garlic. Turn them over. Let's turn it down a bit. A little bit more olive oil. Like, oh, bit more. A little bit of salt and pepper, like that, and then just mix them over. Look at that, look at that, look how quick that is. Smells good, huh? There we are. We've turned it off already, folks. Just disconnect it. Put that aside there. Bring that here. Yeah, we'll use these. And tip it in. Look at that. Timbus wooden handle, because my wife will kill me if I scratch this. Okay, one last thing to do, or a couple of things. Some oregano, fresh oregano and thyme. Let's get a twig of this and a couple of sprigs of this thyme. There we are, that's all we need. Now you don't have to chop up the oregano with a knife, just tear it with your fingers. The little soft twigs and all, folks, like that. Sprinkle it on all over. And the same with the thyme. Now with the thyme, just run your fingers along the stem like that. Pull it all off. Oh, I could smell that from here. How strong is that smell? Flowers and all. Not going to hurt you one little bit. And another little mix. Mix it through. That's it, like that. Ah, oh, look at that. Look at this, look at this. This is packed full of vitamin A, B, C, D, E, F, G, element P, Q, R, S, folks. Everything you need straight from nature. Another little bit of salt on top, like that. Now, if you like, you could squeeze some lemon juice as well on it, but this isn't bitter. This isn't a chicory. This is an endive, green curled endive, very sweet to eat, very delicious. Oh. Let's taste it, eh? Like spaghetti, huh? Only one thing missing, chicken liver. First, saute the onions and garlic. So once they've lightly golden, once they've glazed over lightly, add your chicken liver. Now a little bit more olive oil. Yeah, don't be shy. I normally add a little bit of butter in this too, because it's warm outside, the butter would have melted too quickly for me. Put them in there, turn it down a bit. Some passata. Oh yeah, there we go. There we are. Turn it down. We want to cook this slowly on the low heat. It's going to cool off in a second. And another nice flavour of some sauce is capsicum sauce, folks. If you've got some made from last year, great. If you haven't, make some this year. Red sweet capsicum sauce, or even preserved capsicum in olive oil is really nice. Now this is going to get reduced, so we're going to have to put some more water in here because this is a really big pan. I normally do it in a small pan over the gas stove. So I'm just adding some extra water. So keep that simmering. We've got to add some red wine as well. Oh, sorry. For that flavour. This is coming along just nicely, folks. I'm simmering it slowly. Well, I'm simmering it so I can just cook it through. Now, if you let it cook through completely and soften up all the liver, you can squash it all, put it into a process and turn it into a pate if you like. This is just shy of becoming that. and I like it like that. The onions in there, the garlic, and I haven't put any other herbs in there at the moment because we've got lots of herbs and spices. Well, a lot of herbs in our greens there, folks. Just toasting off some beautiful bread. Let's serve some up. Oh. For those who don't like liver, turn away now. Oh, this is to die for. You can eat liver fresh if you like, especially if it's your own chickens. A little bit of greens on the side. Oh. Folks, this is a meal fit for a king and queen. And this is what we call peasant food. You've got to learn to eat like this if you want to live a long and healthy life. Let's taste it, eh? Oh, that's to die for. Don't mind me, I've got to have some of this too. So if you're asking how I eat, this is how I eat. Cook on the spot and eat straight away. Straight from the garden in the kitchen into the tummy. Share it with the family and friends, folks. That's what it's all about. Keep it simple, keep it real. Keep your garden fresh because you know what you're putting into it. It's going to come straight out and go into your body. So using chemicals in your garden, you're basically inducing them into your own system there. So your microbiome, your gut bio is going to cop it as well. This garden's thriving on basically nature, a little bit of tender loving care and everything natural and organic that goes into it. Our planting mix, our compost, superfood, black grit, and a little bit of water and a little bit of rain from the top that comes down quite often. Check out our website, vasilisgarden.com, and if you're watching this as we've just uploaded it, switch over to 693 AM, that's 3AW radio. We've got Brendan Bolton from Geelong Recycling Green Recycling Centre. We're talking compost, the stuff that we've got online. Going to learn all about where it comes from, how it's made, and the benefits you get out of it in your garden, sharing it with your plants so your plants can give you something back in return. It's also our big weekend sale, 3AW sale, so take advantage of the great discounts we've got there on everything online. We're going to run it to the end of spring, so take advantage, get yourself some planting mix, get whatever you need to get your garden thriving and start growing it naturally and enjoy it just like this. If that's your chicken, how lucky are you? That's my chicken and that's my veggie garden, and all I've done is there, added some olive oil and from some fresh herbs and spices or fresh herbs from the garden, a little bit of salt, nothing else. The flavours are all there. VasilisGarden.com, click and collect, available from Coburg and Lethbridge. From me, Vasili, Maresi.